Hello, this is Dr. Bob of Proactive Wellness and Injury Center. And in this short time together, I'd like to share with you some additional information that you can use to protect not only yourself, but your family. I know there's a lot of states now where they are keeping the populace indoors, but sooner or later, you're going to have to go out and, to buy groceries or to get gas or whatever it might be. And what will happen then, or what can happen then, is that you might be exposed to the virus and then bring that virus back into your house. Now, the more you know about your enemy, the better equipped you are to defeat him. And I want to share with you information that you can use that will help to do just that in regards to this virus. Um, and in particular, this virus, as we know so far, it can remain airborne for at least 3 hours. And also, it can remain active and survive on plastic and on stainless steel surfaces for at least 3, even 4 days. So what we want to do is thinking about this when you go outside of your home, to do whatever you need to do, coming back in, you could have the virus on you and thereby contaminate your house. But the good news is this coronavirus, like all of the coronaviruses, this COVID-19 is very highly susceptible to soap and water and other disinfectants as well. That means you can kill it. This virus is not immortal, so you can go ahead and destroy it. And I want to share with you some things that you can do, equip you so that you can go ahead and take advantage of this and take care of this virus and have a greater sense of peace in your home and, like I said earlier, protecting yourself and your family members. So one thing is an alcohol-based disinfectant. You can use alcohol. Now, I'll explain. When you get the alcohol, though, you have to read the label. If it's only 50% alcohol, it's not going to be beneficial to you. What you've got to do is to get a hold of some alcohol that is 60% alcohol or higher. Usually around 60 to 80% alcohol is going to serve you very, very well. And I've written down some things here so that I'm careful not to forget them. But there are two types you can get. It's the ethyl alcohol. You can purchase that, or the isopropyl alcohol, and you can get that as well. The isopropyl alcohol, when you're using that, it's going to be the not so effective as it's not going to be the better of the two, I should say. You want to go ahead and get a hold of ethyl alcohol, and it's got to be 60% or higher, okay? And when you do that, one of the best ways to use it is to mix it with some water. Because when you mix it with the water, because of the nature of this particular virus, when you mix it with water, that alcohol, or the water, I should say, is going to break down, or it's going to weaken the virus. It's going to weaken the outer walls of the virus, and it's going to make the alcohol easier to get into the insides of the virus and to kill it off. So you can make a spritz bottle, a spray bottle, and mix the alcohol and the water together in that, and then spray it on the surfaces and wipe it down. Let it sit there for at least about 3 to 5 minutes, and then you can wipe it down with some warm water. That way you can clean it off. But let me see here. I wrote my notes here, and I don't want to forget these things here. So and the type of water you want to use is warm water. And also, when you're washing your hands with soap and water, the warmer the water, the better off it's going to be. So you can mix the warm water with the ethyl alcohol, 60% to 80% ethyl alcohol, and mix that with water, spray it on your stuff, whatever, all the surfaces, and wipe everything down. That's going to kill off the virus, okay? Now, some people are using the chlorine bleach, but boy, you've got to be very, very careful with this. The chlorine, of course, it can, when you breathe it, it can irritate the mucus, the membranes here in the nose and in the mouth and in the throat. You don't want to use that stuff straight, and you don't want to breathe it in, because that's going to weaken you in your attempt to destroy the virus. It's going to weaken you as the host, and if there is virus around, it's going to have an easier time of getting inside of you. Also, the bleach decomposes. And as it does, it's going to form some gases there, especially when you expose it to heat and light. Most people don't realize that. So when you do go buy the bleach, try to get the freshest bleach that you can get. Don't get the old bleach because it decomposes. As it does, it becomes weaker. A lot of people don't realize this. Also, it can damage if you use it straight on certain surfaces. You know, sometimes we don't think things through. It can damage the surfaces upon which you apply it. So you want to be very careful in doing that. And it's also highly reactive to other things. Now, you know, there's some stuff on the internet and whatever that you're looking to, and they're telling you how to create these concoctions, you know, and this will kill this and that. Listen, um, you don't want to mix the bleach with vinegar. You do not want to mix bleach with vinegar and create your cleaning agent, because when you do that, that can create a very volatile and very irritating chlorine gas. You don't want to do those things. Also, don't mix the bleach with any type of ammonia or a product that contains ammonia. What that does, that can form a very toxic chloramine gas. Very toxic indeed. It can kill. So you don't want to do that, and it can burn the insides when you're breathing it in, or it can actually burn your skin as well. And don't mix the bleach with rubbing alcohol, with the isopropyl or the ethyl alcohol. That also can form a very highly toxic chloroform gas. Okay, and remember what I said earlier, it does decompose over time. So what you want to do is buy recently produced stock. So you want to look at the labels on there and get the freshest container of bleach that you can. And look, another thing you want to do is to get one of the painter's masks. You know, you can get them at any hardware stores. Get those simple paper masks, what the painters use in that, and make sure that you're wearing that if you're using a bleach mixture. All right, make sure you do that because we don't want to damage your lungs while you're doing this. Make sure that you dilute the bleach. Now, when I told you about the alcohol, I recommended hot water. With the bleach, you want to use cold water and bleach. Don't use hot water, because when you use hot water with bleach, it will inactivate it. It will just nullify its benefits, its effects. So it's not going to work at all. So always mix it with the cold water, okay? And let me see. Oh, like I said, you want to wear the gloves and the mask. Gloves, you want to wear gloves for the hands and also the mask when you're going ahead and using this stuff. Okay. Now another thing that you want to do, or you can try doing, is using hydrogen peroxide. And there's two types of hydrogen peroxide that you can use. One is, of course, the hydrogen peroxide, and the other one is the don't tell me. Don't tell me. Oh, it's the accelerated hydrogen peroxide. There's two types. You may not have known that. So when you go to your pharmacy, your drugstore, or whatever, to get your hydrogen peroxide, there's two types. One is 3% hydrogen peroxide, and the other one is the accelerated hydrogen peroxide. It's much, much more potent. And of all of these things that I've shared with you, with the bleach, with the alcohol, the ethyl alcohol, and I'll talk to you here about some vinegar, but this is going to be the best. This is going to be the most powerful thing that you can use as far as eradicating the virus in your home. It's the accelerated hydrogen peroxide, and it is so good that it can kill the virus within 30 seconds. And that's not anecdotal. That has been tested. It can kill the virus within 30 seconds on any and every surface upon which you apply it. And what you want to do is, and you don't need a wet surface at all. Oh, I see, I forgot to tell you this. Before you use any of these cleaners, what you want to do is to wash or wet down your surfaces that you're intending on cleaning with some soap and water, or just the water. Remember, I told you earlier on when I talked about the alcohol that if you mix it with water, it's going to denature the virus. It's going to make the virus weaker. Well, when you're using the water over the surfaces first, it's going to make the virus weaker to begin with. So whatever you use on that surface after that is going to already be weakened and it's going to be more vulnerable. So whatever you're using is going to be more effective. And you're going to be assured that you're going to be able to kill this stuff off more easily. All right. And then after you use the cleaners on there, you can go ahead and wipe your surfaces down once again. But getting back to the accelerated hydrogen peroxide, it's going to work much faster. And with this one, you is because it's so good, you don't have to wet the surface down before. And I know I don't want to confuse you, but with this one, you don't have to wet your surface down before you use it. But you know, it's always good. I'd rather err on the side of doing too much than not enough. So I'd go ahead, that's me though. I'd wet the surface down before we use the accelerated hydrogen peroxide, okay? And like I said, it does kill the virus within 30 seconds of applying it there. So this is a way, again, just to recap everything. You're going to have to go out into the public areas, and it's possible that you're going to capture some of the virus on you if it's in your area. Many of the people that I've talked to that are in the know told me that they're thinking this is probably going to peak within 3 weeks. It's just like a wave on the sea that comes in. You know how it comes in and it gets real big before it crashes on the shore. Well, that's what they believe this is going to do. It's going to peak within about 3 weeks. So you can anticipate seeing the numbers of people that are affected or infected increase. That's the nature of it. That's the way all of these airborne things are. So it's not new. And you're going to see the numbers of people, of course, as I said, infected increase substantially. But they're believing that only about it's going to be the mortality rate or the fatality rate is only going to be about 1 to 3%. Now, I'm not I'm not demeaning in any way that people are going to die, but I want to let you know that the amount of people that this thing is going to claim is going to be very, very small in comparison to a myriad of other things. Okay, so don't be motivated by the fear. So anyway, you get out, you come back into your home, and now you have perhaps you picked up some of these viruses. You've touched the phones. Don't forget to wipe down your iPhone, your smartphone, whatever you use. Wipe that down every day. Your keyboards, at home when you're on the computer and you're Googling and doing all these other things, and all of your surfaces. So anyway, the virus gets there. So what you want to do is on a regular basis, maybe once or twice or 3 times a day, you can go ahead and wipe your surfaces down with just water and soap and water, having purchased the ethyl alcohol, having mixed the bleach with hot water, and getting the freshest bleach out there that you can, and then also getting your accelerated hydrogen peroxide. All of those things are going to help you out as well. And I forgot one other that I was going to share with you, the vinegar. Yeah, I almost forgot my vinegar. The malt vinegar plus plain soap. If you get malt vinegar, don't use white vinegar. White vinegar is not going to be effective in dealing with the virus. It'll help to keep the ants out of your house, but it's not going to help in destroying the virus, which is what we want to do right now. Malt vinegar, the malt vinegar, and you can mix that with water and or soap as well. Let me see here, because I had the formula. Oh, just mixing the malt vinegar with plain soap and water. That's all you got to do. How much? Do a 50-50 mix. The same thing with the chlorine and the hot or the cold water. The same thing with the ethyl alcohol and the hot water. I don't, I get off on a tangent here and I apologize. It's probably comes with age, right? So anyway, the good news in all of this, this COVID-19, like all the other viruses, very susceptible to soap and water and to these other cleaning agents that I shared with you. So make it a habit every day to wipe everything down in your house. Everything, the countertops, the bathtubs, the rims of the bathtubs, your sinks. Just do some aggressive house cleaning and do it on a daily basis. Not only will it kill the virus that's in your house, but you know it's going to give you peace of mind because you're doing something. You have the power now. You've taken it back in. You're not waiting on somebody else. You have the power to go ahead and to clean this out. And you might even go into your automobile. Do it with the steering wheel, do it with your dash, do it, you know, I mean, use your imagination, right? And any wonderful homemaker will know that we got to clean this, the shelves, the cabinet handles, whatever it might be. Just go to it. I mean, what else you got to do, right? You're at home now. So here's a great way to go ahead and make it spotless. And in the meantime, you also have peace of mind because you know that you're doing what you can do to keep yourself healthy and those that love you and those that you love and are caring for. All right. So thanks for allowing me to share this with you. And we'll keep posted from time to time. If you do have any questions, you know, don't hesitate contacting our office or emailing us at office at pro-activewellness.com. We'll be more than happy to help you out in any way that we possibly can. Okay. And please, if you don't mind, share this information with others around you. It's very helpful. It's going to be quite beneficial. And if we all get together and we do stuff like this, well, hey, we're going to kill this puppy quicker than, you know, than that. And then we can get out and start getting back into life once again. So again, I want to thank you. Until the next time we're together, God bless.